This is the Detroit Sports Podcast Network.
What's up, Detroit sports fans? Welcome to the Fan Reporter Show, made by fans for fans, powered by the Detroit Sports Podcast Network. I'm Nick, and joining us today's interns going to give us this week's topics.
Hey, Griffin's still here. Let's talk about it. It's a fan report.
Okay, well, that nice and short and sweet. I mean, let's, in all honesty, there really isn't a whole bunch to talk about this week. It's been a very ho-hum, quiet news, quiet on the news front week. I mean, in terms of Detroit sports, at least. Obviously, you had the huge news today that Tiger Woods got into a car accident. I hope the best for him and his health and a quick recovery. But
I mean, just look at a local radio station. Their biggest news was that Sheila Ford sits in on team meetings.
Right. Which, how do you feel about that?
I don't
How
give
do you
a shit.
feel that she sits in on the personnel meetings?
If she wants to, she can. As long as she's not detracting from it, it's fine.
Honestly, I think it's encouraging. I think it's a good thing that she wants to have a pulse on what's going on in this organization. She doesn't want to just ignore it. Yeah. As long as she's just sitting in the back, observing, learning, and taking in as much information as she can and letting the people who know what they're talking about do the talking. I have no issue with her, and not just no issue. I like it. I think it's encouraging that she sits in on meetings and gathers info about the pulse of this organization as much as she can. I like that. And if she has something constructive to add to the conversation, I hope she pipes in and says something. She is the owner. She makes the ultimate decisions with this organization, and if she's able to make constructive comments or ask a constructive question, cool. That's a good thing. That's a positive. That's something that I can't really say we've had in this town in a long time.
I don't see a negative with it. I don't see why people would be up in arms about it, but apparently people have found ways to be up in arms about it.
I mean, it's the Lions. There's going to be people who always find a way to be up in arms about something. Let's be real. We're Detroit sports fans. We're jaded as all hell. We've been through the worst of it and also the best of it, and not necessarily with the Lions, but the worst of it with them for sure. Yeah. So, I mean, there's going to be people out there that find a negative in everything. No doubt about it. So,
I know on our local radio station, one of the big arguments that was posed was that you won't have as open and as productive of a team meeting, or because everyone's going to be afraid of saying the wrong thing because the person that could fire you is sitting in the room. But
I would hope that she wouldn't have that short of a leash on them, though. Let these people make their, do their jobs.
And in my opinion, just from my career experience, has nothing to do with football. I've been in a couple of different jobs, and I've noticed that when I'm in a position where, let's say, the CFO is sitting on a meeting more often than not, I become more comfortable with the CFO, and I'm not as afraid of saying the wrong thing because the CFOs become more personal and personable to me, and you just develop that relationship with them.
It also
it lessens that impact when you're seeing them in every single meeting.
It also makes it feel like they're much more connected to you as an individual inside the organization. It makes you feel more. It makes it to you. It makes it seem like they care. Mm-hmm. When the upper ups of an organization or a business just delegate everything to anybody else that they can and just kind of sit at home and rake in the money and don't seem to give a shit, then why should you care? If that type of thing comes from the top. If the top cares, then maybe you will too. Mm-hmm. And so Sheila Ford sitting in on personnel meetings is showing that she cares. So if she cares, everybody else should too. And it's a trickle down type situation where if she didn't care and just wanted to delegate everything, then you probably see some people in the organization not care as well. Yeah. So it shows that she wants to have a pulse on the situation, and I do think that is encouraging. And I really, again, it's hard for me to find a negative in it until I hear that she's dictating things a certain way based on what she thinks, because she's not the football mind. But regardless, I think it's a positive until I hear otherwise.
Exactly.
And maybe that's just me putting my Honolulu Blue sunglasses on or whatever. But
I just feel like I have to.
I just want some
stretch to
damn
make
positivity with this team once every now and then.
Yeah, I just feel like I have to stretch to make a negative argument about it.
Right,
So,
exactly.
Before we get into the Blake Griffin stuff, I do have one other fun topic for you.
Yeah.
JJ Watt tweeted that mitochondria is a powerhouse to sell. Does that mean he's coming to Detroit?
I'm curious to hear, I'm not even, before I answer, I'm curious to find out how you wind around the road to come up with that like end game there. Like how did you get from point A to point B here?
I don't know if this has been like the big trend going on NFL Twitter today, is because JJ Watt tweeted mitochondria is powerhouse to the cell. People have been trying to stretch it to mean it's coming to their team. Like Jeremy White tweeted, I don't know where he's from. He's from some publication. It's not pulling up right now, but tweeted that mitochondria has the same number of letters as Buffalo Bills.
Wow, that's a stretch. I like it.
World of Isaac.
I'll be straight up honest with you. JJ Watts of the Bills. I love that fit. Just going to throw that out there. But anyways, continue.
World of Isaac, the Detroit-based Twitter account, said, fun fact, mitochondria is actually French for Michigan. JJ Watt to Detroit confirmed.
I don't actually think that's true, but I'll take it.
Browns rally possum tweeted mitochondria has a C in it. Cleveland starts with a C. He's coming to the Browns.
Okay, that one's just lazy. Next.
Here's another Bills one.
No surprises from somebody from the city of Cleveland, by the way.
Mitochondria are shaped like beans. Bills GM is Brandon Bean. Bean was executive there, making him the powerhouse of GMs in the league. Didn't even break a sweat deciphering this one. # Bills Mafia.
Interesting. What about if the mitochondria is shaped like a bean? That means he could be going to Bean Town.
Ooh.
Maybe there's that.
Here's one. This one probably makes the most sense out of all of them. Mitochondria Research Center is located in Buffalo. JJ to the Bills. At least there's some logic to that.
Wait, say that one more time.
The Mitochondria Research Center is located in Buffalo. JJ to the Bills confirmed. At least there's some logic behind that one.
There is some logic behind that one. That one is probably the most logical one I've heard. There's a lot of talk about Buffalo here, and maybe that's where he's going. I don't hate that fit. I think it's a great fit.
It is a great fit. I have a couple more for you, though. Mitochondria was discovered by Albert von Kolliker, a Swiss embryologist and histologist. The Swiss make cheese like the great people of Green Bay. Wow, confirmed JJ is coming to the Packers.
All right.
And then
a little bit of maneuverability there and some stretching. I like it.
We have mitochondria as a powerhouse. Coal is used for power. There are coal mines in Pittsburgh. He's signing with the Steelers. Those are the ones I was able to find.
All right. What about for Detroit? That one that actually could potentially.
Let's see if I can find the one other than mitochondria's French for Michigan.
Again, I don't think that is true. I don't believe that is a fact.
Definitely not true. Detroit equals Motor City. JJ Watt to the Lions. That doesn't even make sense.
Motor City, as in like
power.
How we make horsepower here? Powerhouse horsepower. I don't know. What? Okay, let me. Forget it. Do you even want to see JJ Watt in a Lions uniform? Because frankly, it doesn't make any sense to me.
It's kind of pointless, to be honest with you. It's counterintuitive to what we're trying to do here. We're trying to build. We're trying to get younger and build a young core like the Pistons are doing.
It's also entirely counterintuitive to what JJ Watt wants to do.
Yeah,
he wants to
that
win.
That also. Although it is a position of need, knowing the Lions and how much we're going to need JJ Watt in that position he'll probably make it about 2 games before he's tapped.
Yes. What he needs to do is go to a team that only needs him for like the second half of the year and then find a way to convince him to sit out the first half. So that come playoff time, like, hey, JJ, don't even play until week 10. And then come week 10, get going, playoff push, and then boom, playoff time. Because that's about all you're going to get out of him is that amount of that many games before he's done. If you're lucky.
Am I naive for saying that I want him to be on the Steelers so I can see JJ Watt and TJ Watt be in the same linebacking core?
No. Is there any like correlation between mitochondria and having a brother cell or piece of a cell? Because that would be interesting. Maybe there's some correlation there. Like, what is the brother to the mitochondria?
JJ Watt and TJ Watt are a powerhouse sibling duo. Mitochondria's powerhouse to sell. JJ Watt is coming to the Steelers.
Oh man.
So you got to stretch.
Yes.
And all honesty, I don't know why he tweeted that, but I've got amusement out of fans trying to twist it to their.
You know exactly why he tweeted that, because it's amusing to watch fans twist some weird shit. Because if I were in his situation, I'd be tweeting shit like that all the time. Like it literally just be like a random Thursday in the middle of the season, and I just tweet out little eyeball emojis because everybody goes nuts about that. Everybody goes nuts. I would literally just tweet stuff to stir the pot.
As I'm saying, I'd be way too I would be way too immature to be a free agent. It's just the amount that people jump on everything.
Like I would tweet out, Miami looks kind of nice this time of year, or something along those lines. I hear Phoenix has a really great culinary scene. Maybe I should check it out, and then just watch people go nuts. It would be too much fun.
I'd take like a vacation down to Miami, and I'd like tweet a picture of my ticket and stuff. But he did tweet a couple days ago. He said, I scrolled through DoorDash for like an hour before I pick a restaurant, man. You're going to have to give me a second to choose a new team and city. Speaking of old farts, let's get to Blake Griffin.
Alrighty.
So, still hasn't been moved. I'm still on the boat. I'm assuming you are as well, that it's probably going to end in a buyout.
Yes.
But Bleacher Report tweeted out an article. This is from Zach Buckley.
I wonder if it's the same move I'm thinking of, because I did see a potential trade with Blake Griffin that involved the Pistons not having to give up some draft capital. And in fact, they got some minor draft capital.
We might be talking about the same move here.
All right, let's hear it.
Article is titled Desperation Trades for NBA's Biggest Buyers and Sellers. And they have Blake and Drummond on here. We can talk about Drummond if you want, but let's talk about Blake. This is a trade to the Miami Heat. The Miami Heat will receive Blake Griffin and Wayne Ellington. By the way, Wayne Ellington is sitting out tonight. Hint, hint.
Interesting.
And the Detroit Pistons receive Andre Iguodala, Kelly Olynyk, Myers Leonard, and a 2022 second via either Philly or Denver.
This was not the trade I was thinking of.
Oh, okay.
So
now I'm curious to hear the trade you're thinking of.
Run it back through. I'm going to try to find it real quick, but run it back through.
Blake Griffin and Wayne Ellington to the Heat. Detroit gets back Andre Iguodala, Kelly Olynyk, Myers Leonard, and a 2022 second round pick.
I'd have to see the contracts in those three guys to really get a good idea.
I can help you with that. Olynyk's contract is up at the end of the season. It's expiring. And Iguodala and Leonard both have team options for next year, so they can come off the books this offseason as well. So it's all expiring money.
All expiring money, and we get a draft pick?
And we get a draft pick.
Yeah. Why the hell not?
Yeah, keep them on the bench. We don't have any dead cap.
So you mean I can just keep the same money that's coming off the books at the end of the year, even though Blake's doesn't come off at the end of the year?
You're accelerating it.
I'm accelerating it, and I get draft capital? Yeah. Sweet, I'm good. The only negative in this trade, in my opinion, is you get less for Wayne Ellington than I think you would if you would trade him by himself, just based on the way he's played this year.
Agreed, but getting the money still being able to get the money off the books is good enough for me.
I'll agree with you. 100%.
That's an asset in and of itself.
Still trying to find the one trade. All right, I found it. I found it. All right, so it is actually with the OKC Thunder.
Ooh.
The Pistons give up Blake Griffin, Mason Plumlee. Oh, no, we do give up draft capital here. Just kidding. But the Pistons give up Blake Griffin, Mason Plumlee, and a future second-round pick to bring in a guy I've been asking the Pistons to get for a long time, but not so much anymore, in Al Horford and Darius Miller. How do you feel about that one?
Do you have any dirt on Al Horford and Darius Miller's contract situations or no?
I don't, but I can get it real quick for you.
Look that up real quickly.
Grab Darius Miller's. I'll grab Al Horford's.
Okay, that sounds good because I already grabbed Al Horford's, but I'll grab Darius Miller.
Oh, all right.
So Darius Miller, well, it's minimal. He's not really getting paid much.
Al Horford, on the other hand, is.
So it's $7 million expiring money coming off the books at the end of the year.
Okay. Al Horford, on the other hand, is going to add a year of money onto our books at $27.5 million this year, $27 million next year, and then 26.5 the year after that. So he won't be a free agent until after the 2022.
Doesn't look like
season.
it's any kind of options attached to that either.
No options. He just becomes a straight up UFA after the 2022-2023 season. It is a front loaded contract, so the bulk of it happens in the first half of in the first 2 years of his contract. Then you got 27, 26.5 after that, but. This one I don't like as much as yours because, one, we have to give up a little bit of draft capital and we add a year on to this situation. Granted, the Pistons aren't going to be ready within 2 years anyways, so there is that aspect. So does it really matter in all reality? No. I like the other one better.
It just sets back the rebuild, in my opinion.
I don't really think it does because I don't think it changes the timeline at all. I really don't.
It doesn't change the timeline, but you do have a very capable center still playing, and you're tying up a bunch of salary there at the same time.
Would you really consider Al Horford at the age of 35 a very capable center?
That's all I consider him is capable. I didn't say he's great or good. I say he's capable.
I'd argue Mason Plumlee is more productive than Al Horford at this point in time.
You could make that argument.
Like, you might actually be helping things in terms of the tank by bringing in Al Horford instead of letting Plumlee play.
I'd argue Mason Plumlee's actually been good.
You don't even need to argue that with me. I agree with you. He's been a big surprise in my book this year.
Another point for Troy Weaver's talent spotting ability.
Yeah, I mean, okay, it kind of like how a lot of people are talking. So, to give you an idea of what people think of the Pistons roster and how they've performed this year, like a lot of people think that Jeremy Grant is good because of volume. He's been a volume player this year, which there is a big argument for that. Mm-hmm. A lot of people probably also think the same about Mason Plumlee. He's getting far more minutes than he has probably anywhere else in his career. He's getting far more opportunity, definitely, than anywhere else he has in his career. So you could argue Mason Plumlee is more so of the volume guy at this point, too. So that could be why. Do I consider him like a diamond in the rough find? Honestly, no, because I really don't think he's going to be any part of the future of this franchise. Like,
I'll agree with you there.
A Josh Jackson panning out and becoming a guy, that's like a diamond in the rough find. Mason Plumlee right now is just hindering our ability to tank.
But it's, hey, the tank is looking good, though. DeLon Wright looks like he's going to be out for a little bit, and this team is absolute garbaggio without DeLon Wright, as evidenced by the Magic game. Now, Saben Lee.
Trade him.
Saben Lee, he finally played some meaningful minutes, and he actually looked better than I anticipated because he didn't look great in the 2-3 garbage time minutes he'd get every now and then.
He was actually moderately exciting.
But Dwayne Casey even had some really nice words to say about him. If I can pull that quote back up. But and then Dennis Smith Jr. finally had his first good game as a Piston. It was looking rough to start.
Well, I mean, he was okay. I still am not quite ready to say it was looking real good for Dennis Smith Jr. Like,
he started off slow, but it was
what game were you talking about? Because against the Magic,
Orlando. He started off slow, and then I believe it was in the third quarter. He had this snap of the finger turnaround where he hits a three, gets a steal, hits another three, and then the rest, and it sets him on fire. And the rest of the game, he was pretty productive while he was on the court.
He only put up 6 points.
Yeah, but he was productive.
Was he though? Because he only had 2 assists. He also only played 15 minutes. I mean, how much production can you get in that time? I don't know. I think Dennis Smith is being eased into this situation very slowly and for good reason. Because I don't think Dennis Smith Jr. has really earned his spot minutes just yet. But, wow, Josh Jackson had quite the good game, though. Double-double, 17 and 10.
Oh, yeah, Josh Jackson he took so many shots, though, but he was great.
23, to be exact. He actually led the team in shots. He shot 7 of 23. That's not a great line if you're, for the folks back at home. But, I mean, Saben Lee did play well. He shot well. He didn't really step out behind the line outside of the one time, but
I was just very impressed with how he ran the offense.
12 points, 4 boards, 5 assists. I mean, that's in
for a second-round rookie.
32 minutes. I mean, that's extended time.
Yeah, for a second-round rookie, it was really impressive, to me at least.
The most encouraging thing in my eyes outside of his play, is the fact that Dwayne Casey looked at a guy who clearly was having a good night and was willing to play him probably far beyond what he went into the game planning to allow him to play. Because there's no way he had a game plan to have Saben Lee play 30-plus minutes in that game. I don't think he was expecting Saben Lee to play 30 minutes this year.
I bet you, because DSJ was a starter for that game, and I bet you DSJ was one supposed to get those minutes. And when he started off slow and Saben Lee came in and really played well, I think he had 13 points in the first half?
Saben Lee?
Yeah.
He had 12 points, 4 boards, 5 assists throughout the game.
Really? I thought he had 13 in the first half.
No. 12 points, 4 boards, 5 assists was his final.
Really romanticizing his performance in my head, aren't I? But
yes, as long as I'm looking at the right game, which was 2 nights ago, yes. So February 21st. I mean,
but yeah. Either way, so he came in, he played real well, and I fully believe that was a mid-game adjustment by Dwayne Casey to keep him in.
Oh, I do too, and he also had 3 steals to go with it. He was on both sides of the ball there, and he was one of only 3 Pistons players to finish in the positives in terms of plus minus. He, Isaiah Stewart, and Wayne Ellington, and Wayne Ellington only played 15 minutes. So, I mean, if you ask me, I think that's encouraging. If we found maybe a potential bench player in Saben Lee of the future, I mean, I'm really encouraged by the fact that Dwayne Casey's willing to play these young guys and give them an opportunity like that. I would have liked to see a little bit more of Isaiah Stewart, 19 minutes. Come on, give me some more there, bud. Mason Plumlee's been fun to watch, but I want to see more Stewart. I want to see Beef Stew out there.
Not to keep harping on, I've been trying to find this quote, and not to keep harping on Saben Lee. I just wanted to throw this in. This is what Dwayne Casey had to say about Saben Lee on Sunday. He said that the whole complexion of the game changed when Saben Lee came in, and he said he called him a true point guard, and he said he's a leader. He plays with pure heart. There's no me in his game whatsoever. That's something that comes out when he's on the floor. He has that leadership. I feel like that's really high praise for a.
That is high praise, especially for a rookie, a second-round pick that you honestly probably would be in the G League this season if they started playing a little bit earlier, or if we had more than 9 guys on the roster that played any kind of meaningful minutes. But I think that's extremely encouraging to look at, and to be honest with you, to give you an idea of how much Dwayne Casey was willing to put faith into Saben Lee in this game. And I mean, you can argue, who cares? It's a wasted year, whatever. It's a tank. He's just going to play the young guys to give them minutes. But Saben Lee was tied for the second most minutes on this team in that game against the Magic. Only 2 other players matched or had more minutes than him. Obviously, Jeremy Grant's one of them. He plays the most minutes on the team, basically. The other one was Josh Jackson, who had also a really good game. So those 3 guys were by far the best players on the floor for the Pistons in that game. And if we can Saben Lee do this consistently, or even get some opportunity with some extended minutes multiple times this year in any kind of consistent stretch, that's kind of exciting, because this team, I mean, what if he turns into a Lindsey Hunter for this team? How awesome would that be?
That'd be great.
Because a guy like Lindsey Hunter becomes almost
well enough to have that potential.
Right. A guy like Lindsey Hunter almost becomes like the glue, or the glue for a championship type team. I mean, finding guys like that are so hard to find, and you can't say, they're a dime a dozen, because they're really not. They're hard to find. A defensive focused, but still true point guard that can run the offense without a drop in production. I mean, if Saben Lee can bring that to this organization, to this team on a yearly basis, that'd be sweet. Especially if you got him in the second round.
And it's honestly this gives me a little more comfort about Troy Weaver and his performance so far. Just looking at his draft class, I mean, you got 2 first-round rookies I've been really impressed with. A second-round rookie that is, obviously, this is limited sample size, but as of right now, it's a strong start. And then an incomplete on Killian Hayes is what I'd call it.
And to give you an update on Saben Lee, his performance is continuing. Your 13 points in the first half is tonight. He's got 13, 2 and 2 in 13 minutes, and we're not even at halftime.
So did I just predict the future?
You might have. I don't know, but you might have.
Was I watching the wrong game on Sunday?
You probably might have. And I don't know, but he's he's playing at a level that I don't know that, like, and nobody expected, like, Saben Lee to come on and take the world by storm. And, like, don't get me wrong, Dennis Smith Jr.'s also started out really well. Also, he's got 7 points in 7 minutes himself. So both guys are clearly scoring at will at the point guard position. But to see Saben Lee put up, he leads the team in scoring, mind you, right now. Yeah. To see him put up that kind of production and also fill in the stat sheet, like it'd be nice. It'd sure be nice if that continued. Like, what if by third, after the All-Star break, Saben Lee's your starting point guard?
Jesus, if he keeps this up, he might even get the job before the All-Star break.
Killian Hayes, who?
Oh man, this is gonna be.
Boy.
You know what's gonna be annoying though? Like, watch Saben Lee actually keep this up, and then Killian comes back. Killian decides to be good, and then we draft Cade, and we're like, all right, now what do we do?
Then you have a problem, and it's a really good problem, but it's a problem. I mean, again, though, I do think Cade Cunningham can play off ball, no problem.
Yeah,
he's
I
like
agree.
6 foot 100. Well, he's actually like 6'7", but I don't think there would be any type of problem there. He's going to be a ball dominant, off ball type player still. He doesn't necessarily need to run the point. He can play off ball, and I think having guys like Killian Hayes and Saben Lee be able to run the offense and dish it out to a guy like Cade Cunningham, please let us get him. It would be one hell of an awesome problem to have.
Yeah, just keep losing games. Let's hope the T-Wolves start winning. I mean, I made some money on the T-Wolves losing the past couple games, but
haven't we all?
I'm gonna stop I'm gonna stop betting against them so I can start winning again.
You know, honestly, I probably should start betting against them because that's when they will start winning.
There you go.
But no, I mean, there's a lot to be excited about with Saben Lee, no question.
Absolutely. And then real quick, just to wrap this up in a bow, going real quick back to Blake Griffin. Do you think there's honestly a shot that a team will take on Blake Griffin in a deal like this where we can actually clear his salary and put him on a team that I guess is contending like Miami?
Let me put it this way. When there's contracts like James Harden's that get moved in the NBA, there is no limit to what teams will be willing to take on.
But the production
I mean, yes, the production is different, obviously. But I do think a team will be willing to bring in a Blake Griffin. Like, do I think the chances are good? No. I'm at a point now where I said, what did I say last time? Like 35% chance that he gets traded. I'm now down to like a 15% chance he gets traded. Like, I think there's an 85% chance he gets bought out. But that still leaves a possibility. Like, I still think there will be a team. There could be. I won't say will. There could be a team out there that will say, hey, we are a Blake Griffin type player away if he's going to, we're going to take a shot here. We've got one opportunity, one shot, one opportunity, go full on, lose yourself Eminem up in here to take a shot and bring in Blake Griffin and mortgage the future. I mean, the LA Rams do it every single year. They don't have a first round pick for the next decade. There could be a team out there that's willing to give up their future to bring in a Blake Griffin, hope he's able to reclaim some of the magic he had a few years back and lead them to a championship. Like the Pistons, in all honesty, as much as I agreed with Draymond Green about how players are treated and how they're expected to act when they're told you're not going to play anymore until we trade you or buy you out. Like, as much as I agree with him there, what the Pistons are doing is protecting an asset by not playing him, because the fewer minutes they play him, the less chance he has to get hurt, less chance he has to look like he can't play. They may actually be slightly, kind of, sort of, in a weird way, adding some value to Blake Griffin by resting him right now for a team to say, hey, he hasn't played in a minute. Maybe those knees can hold up for the second half of the season and into the playoffs. And that's where I say that there may be a chance there for a team to come in, give you maybe some back-end draft capital with some expiring deals and take Blake Griffin off your hands. So I do think there is a chance. Is it likely? No. But in my opinion, there is a chance. And I know I'm going full on, so you're telling me there's a chance.
Yeah, I was about to say it.
But I do think there is a possibility that it happens. So you're what was all with that 1 in a million talk?
Yeah, I mean, as long as this doesn't end with us stretching his contract, and actually, I feel like I read somewhere that we actually can't stretch his contract.
Really?
But, as long as he doesn't have us stretching his contract.
As long as we don't have a Blake Griffin day, like Bobby Bonilla day, then I'm fine with it. Because I don't want to be paying the man like, what is it, $3 million every single July 1st? I don't want to be paying the man $1 million every year for the next 20 years.
Then we just got out of the Josh Smith stuff. So
we did. Didn't we use our stretch provision? No, we used our
for Josh Smith.
No. I'm talking someone we bought out this offseason.
Yeah, we stretched a few. We stretched a few players this offseason.
Yeah, we stretched Dwayne Dedmon, didn't we?
We stretched Dedmon. We stretched a couple players that didn't even feel like we needed to stretch
because their contracts weren't really worth anything.
Yeah,
like I don't even really think you need to stretch Dwayne Dedmon. Like, just buy him out if he has a buyout clause. That is, but
All right. Before we close out, I have one more fun thing for us.
Yeah,
Fansided, Pistons Powered off of Fansided, has a top 10 players, Detroit Pistons players you may have forgotten. And I just want to give you each name and see if you remember them. And
if I remember them, you kidding me?
And two, if you have any sort of
emotional attachment,
just memory attachment, anything.
Okay. All right. Here's what I'll try to do. All right. First, okay, let me ask you this. Are all of them within the time that I was born?
I don't know. I haven't looked at it yet.
Okay. Fair. All right. I like that we're both going in blind.
We're going in blind on this one.
And number two, I'm going to try to name a highlight or something that makes me think of them. Just align them with something.
You're going to struggle to get a highlight for this first one. Luigi Datome.
Not necessarily a highlight, but something that reminds me of him is the man bun. I loved it.
Yes.
It was great.
I remember. I was actually...
He did the man bun before it was actually cool to do.
I was actually unapologetically excited for Luigi Datome because...
Well, why?
I spent way too much time watching his Italian League highlights from his MVP season, and I really thought we were getting like a 3-point ace, and he was supposed to be a 3-point ace. He shot like over 40% in the Italian League from three, but he only shot like, 20% with us? So
a little bit of a live update for you on the Pistons game. Saben Lee and Dennis Smith Jr. are the two leading scorers for the Pistons at the half. 13 beautiful. For Saben Lee, 9 for DSJ. Granted, DSJ has brought nothing else to the table. Zero boards, 0 assists, but he's scoring.
Next guy, Josh Harrelson from 2013-2014.
All right, that one I straight up just don't remember.
I got one word for this guy, Jorts. That's all I remember him for. He was given the nickname Jorts by the team, I remember, because he used to wear jorts all the time.
Josh Harrelson.
He now plays in the Japanese B League, where he notches nearly a double per game.
I see a picture. He does not look like an athlete. My God. Like, that is the least athletic looking person I may have ever seen. Outside of, like, Pablo Sandoval.
All right, next random Piston. Cartier Martin.
I do remember Cartier Martin.
The name sounds familiar. I don't have any memories attached to him.
I don't really have any memories attached to him, but the name definitely does, like... I remember the name, and I remember I don't know.
2014, 2015 was Cartier Martin.
Yep. He played 23 games for us, averaged 8.5 minutes a game.
All right, you're definitely going to know this next one. Will Bynum.
Oh, Will the throw, baby.
Some of the most exciting post going to work crew games we came from Will Bynum. I remember when Andre Drummond was in his rookie season in his second year, the chemistry him and Will Bynum had on the court, or on that pick and roll. Remember, we were like Lob City 2.0. It was beautiful. God. Next name on the list, Joel Anthony.
Oh, man.
Nightmares.
Bum ass Joel Anthony. Joel Anthony was good for one thing. Come into the game, do the hacky shack, foul whoever is the worst free throw shooter on the floor. That was Joel Anthony.
Let's get all the fouls on Joel Anthony. Let's let him foul out.
Yep.
These are sacrificial layups.
I'm pretty sure there were games he played less than a minute, but fouled out or came close to.
Next guy, Jody Meeks.
Of course I remember Jody Meeks. Dude came in as a 3-point stud. Yeah. Wasn't really a 3-point stud here.
I remember he had one good season. He never really lived up to what he was supposed to be here, but he had one good season.
He did.
But I still remember his last season in LA. because what I remember is it was his getup, like the completely shaved head, the armband, this just the exact size. I legit thought, like, for a second, like, wait, is Kobe out there? And then I'm like, oh wait, no, that's Jody Meeks. Like he was dressed exactly like Kobe would be dressed in the Lakers. It was the funniest thing. All right, oh god, Austin Day.
Who doesn't remember Austin Day? One of the biggest busts we ever had.
Marketed as Kevin Durant, like,
yep.
it was not even anywhere near that.
No. God, what a nightmare that one was.
Who did we get? Did we get anything for him?
My guess is no. I can find out while you go to the next one.
Oh, I remember this guy. This is actually a guy I kind of had some hope for, but he didn't actually end up doing anything.
Was
he in the Memphis trade?
We got Jose. Yes, we got Jose Calderon.
Rudy.
We got Jose Calderon.
Okay, so that's what I figured, because I remember him being on Memphis. I just don't remember if that was who we traded.
Yeah, he was in the Memphis trade. We sent Ed Davis, Tayshaun, and Austin Day to the Grizzlies for Jose Calderon. Rudy Gay went to the Raptors.
You know he's an NBA champion?
Austin Day?
Yep, with the Spurs.
Oh, okay. All right. Who was the next guy after Austin Day?
Darren Hilliard.
I remember Darren Hilliard.
Second round pick out of Villanova, and he was supposed to be like this tall point guard, basically. And
he actually played like decent minutes, if I remember right.
Mm-hmm. I remember we met him at the Pistons. What was it? What were the things like the open
practice that they had in the offseason?
He was like one of the guys that we were able to say hi to.
He now plays over in Russia.
Ah,
he's only 27.
Yeah, he's young.
Interesting.
Oh,
fun fact: he's a day younger than you.
More bad memories. Henry Ellinson.
Who would forget him? That was like yesterday.
This is one of our worst picks in recent memory.
Yes.
He was literally good for nothing.
No. He was literally drafted to be, in Stan Van Gundy's eyes, Stan Van Gundy just coveted a Kevin Love. He desperately wanted a Kevin Love on his team, so he drafted Henry Ellinson to be that. Except Ellinson couldn't shoot.
Exactly. He was trying to force the 4-out-1-in system, and it didn't really happen. I mean, do me a favor. If you can look up who was taken immediately after him? Like 1, 2, maybe 3.
What year was his draft? Was it 16?
Yeah, I think it was 2016.
Granted,
while you look that up, I can move on. But
I will give SVG some credit by saying that he at least recognized. Oh, you're not going to like who was taken after him. He at least recognized that for an offense to work with Andre Drummond, you had to go 4-out-1-in.
Well, yeah, there's that. But that was also his system in Orlando too. Like he didn't build the system. I really don't think he built the system because of the fact that Andre Drummond was here.
No, I think that's just what he wanted to run.
Yeah, that's what he wanted to run. The fact that Andre Drummond was here just kind of helped that.
Names taken after Henry Ellinson. Malik Beasley.
Shit.
Scoring machine. Karis LeVert.
Oh, God.
To continue on, because it gets worse, DeJounte Murray. And my favorite, Pascal Siakam.
Oh.
And honestly,
even played Siakam at the 4.
Even to keep going, Malcolm Brogdon was taken in the second round. Tyler Ulis. I don't actually think he's turned into anything, but I remember liking Ulis quite a bit.
I do too. He had like a couple big games, but other than that, he had like a couple big. I should say a couple big stretches. He had Tyler Ulis.
Yeah, Ivica Zubac. That's the only other one taken after. But yeah. Some names like Beasley, LeVert, and Siakam and Murray taken after Henry Ellinson. And Malik Beasley was the very next pick, FYI. And Karis LeVert was the next pick following Beasley.
All right, final guy. I think we all remember him. Saza Pachulia.
Of course I remember him. Again, this was like yesterday.
Yeah. His last year on the team was, 2 years ago?
Yeah.
He left the team.
Yeah, right. I mean, there's really nothing exciting about Zaza. But
I can give you more rated Pistons like off the top of my head. Peyton Siva. Remember him?
Yeah. I remember watching him in college and being extremely excited about him.
Oh, yeah.
Because dude was faster than hell. He was just small.
I can tell you going back to one of the first. This is the guy I always bring up when I try to stump people. And this is one of the first drafts I remember watching. This was the year after we won the championship, the draft after. And I was in Lebanon for it, and I stayed up late and watched it on NBA TV. and we took Ricky Paulding, and we only had a late second round pick. Was the only pick we had. We took Ricky Paulding. I don't think he ever played a minute for us.
Nice.
He was on the team for like a year or so.
I was going to say, that is not a name I recognize. Oh, man.
I got one more. Tony Mitchell. That was
Tony
one
Mitchell.
guy
I
was
remember that
about.
one. That's a name I remember.
He was the guy I was enamored by the dunk, the highlight reel dunks that you would see on YouTube from him.
Just okay. So speaking of the dunk contest, how do you feel about the NBA having an All-Star Weekend this year?
First of all, I think it's stupid. I really do.
I mean, I do too. I think it's kind of pointless because All-Star Weekend's like about the fans, and you don't have fans at them this year.
Yeah, like don't get me wrong, probably still gonna watch it. I feel bad for the players because like they're under such strict COVID protocols all season, and then to be like, well, we can all fly you all to the same city and have you play. Like it's counterintuitive what the NBA has been trying to do the entire season.
Well, not just that. All-Star Weekend's all about interacting with people and going out and doing things and parties and having fun. And now this year they're not able to do it. Like it's. I feel bad for the players. I feel bad for the fans. Like I straight up just don't think it's a good idea. Like there's just no excitement behind it. Like who is going to get excited about a dunk contest that has nobody in the arena?
Did you hear what they're doing for the dunk contest?
No, I did not. I
heard it's going to be the halftime show of the All-Star game.
It's quite possibly, no, not even quite possibly. It is going to be the worst dunk contest that ever happened. Like, not having fans screaming and yelling and people running all over the floor and going nuts at a dunk contest, it's not the same thing. It's just a dude dunking in a gym. Like, who cares? I see YouTube videos of that every single day.
Yeah.
Who cares? And it's a weekend all about the fans, and there's going to be no fans. So what's the point of having it? It's stupid.
I agree.
And on top, like if you really wanted to, because I know that the amount of All-Star games a dude was selected to makes a difference in their Hall of Fame vote. So you just name them the All-Star and then you don't play the game. You just name your All-Star rosters and then you move on with your season. You give them a week off. That's it. You don't need to play the game to say he was an all-star. He just was one of the best players of the season. Or the halfway point of the season, I should say. But, no, I think it's entirely stupid to have an all-star weekend when you don't have fans. Like, how the hell are you going to do a dunk contest without fans?
I honestly thought that what was going to happen was we were going to name all-stars, but they were going to actually – I thought that they were going to do the all-star weekend in the offseason. I thought they were going to have like one weekend where everyone gets together and because it'd be
you might be able to have fans at that. You'd have
it would be a much better shot of having fans. It'd be much better shot at it being safer all around. Like I thought that they were just going to take a weekend of the off season and like here's just a fun weekend of basketball.
I mean, fair enough. You might have some like Players Association rules against that. Like
you might.
There could be something like that. But honestly, if
that was my own pet theory that I really thought they could.
I don't see a point to play this game. Like it seems like they're tone deaf. It seems like they just
I feel that
it's a slap in the face in my opinion. I think it's just stupid. It's a waste of time and energy and money in all reality.
Yeah.
So, but anything else to add before we close out?
No, let's go to watching the second half of this Pistons game.
All right. We'll catch you guys next week. Thank you so much for listening. Andrew, thank you for joining me, and thank you to Detroit Sports Podcast as always. Follow us on Twitter at RealFanReport, and we will catch you guys next week. This has been the Fan Reporters by fans.
For fans.
We'll see you later. Have a good one. Have a good week. Peace out.
Peace.